She arrived quietly, the same way she lived most of her life, unnoticed by crowds who were too focused on the parade field, the crisp uniforms, the polished boots, and the sun glinting off the rifles of the graduating Marines. Her son had begged her to attend, though he never worried she wouldn't. She would have crawled to this base if she had to. Nothing would stop her from watching him walk across that field. Maria Lopez blended into the families gathered along the bleachers. A simple blouse, dark jeans, sunglasses that hid her tired eyes. She looked like any other proud parent. And she wanted it that way. She hadn't come to stand out. She hadn't come to be recognized. She came for one thing, to watch her boy, Private First Class Gabriel Lopez, finally earn the title Marine. The announcer's voice boomed through the speakers, deep and steady, as the platoons marched into formation. The crowd erupted into cheers. Mothers cried. Fathers stood tall. Maria pressed a hand over her heart, whispering a prayer under her breath. But a shadow fell across her as someone stepped in front of her row. "Ma'am, excuse me," a Marine captain said, trying to move past the families. He was tall, sharp-jawed, his uniform perfect, medals glinting. He didn't look at anyone in particular, until something caught his eye. Maria shifted, raising her arm to adjust her sunglasses. And that was the moment he saw it. A tattoo on her forearm, small, faded, barely visible unless the sun hit it. A single black trident. The captain froze. For a moment, Maria didn't notice. She was too focused on Gabriel, scanning the formation to find him. But the silence lingered too long. She turned, lowering her sunglasses just enough to see the captain staring at her as if he'd seen a ghost. Is that real?" he asked quietly. She glanced at her tattoo and felt her stomach drop. "It's old," she murmured. "Forget you saw it." "Ma'am," the captain said, voice now tight, "that's a Recon Marine tattoo. But only one unit used that exact design. I'm not here for that," she said quickly. "I'm here for my son. Nothing else." But the captain didn't move. He swallowed hard, eyes wide, breath shallow. "You served in Ghost Company." Several Marines nearby turned their heads. A few parents looked confused. Most had never heard of Ghost Company, and that was by design. The unit wasn't officially acknowledged for over a decade. Even now, its missions were still classified. Maria exhaled sharply. "Captain, please. Not today." But the captain was not just startled, he was shaken. He stepped closer, lowering his voice. "Ma'am, Ghost Company hasn't had a surviving member in." "I know," she cut in. "I was there." The captain took a half step back as if steadying himself. For years, the military whispered rumors about the only female operator to ever run missions with Ghost Company. A shadow. A myth. Some said she didn't exist at all. Others said she died in a desert long before she could be recognized. And now she was standing right in front of him, wearing jeans and holding a small camera to record her son's big day. "What's your name?" he asked softly. She hesitated. "Maria." "Maria," his voice cracked. "Were you, Spectre 7? Maria's eyes snapped to his. Her jaw tensed. That call sign had not been spoken aloud in almost 15 years. "You need to forget everything you think you know," she whispered. But the captain shook his head. "Ma'am, you saved my brother." Her breath caught. He continued, voice trembling. "Fallujah, 2008. He was pinned with his team inside a collapsed structure. They said an unidentified operator got them out. Dragged 2 Marines over a wall under fire. The reports never named who it was. But he described the tattoo. Yours." Maria closed her eyes. That mission was burned into her memory, the sand in her mouth, the roaring heat, dragging bodies through smoke, the deafening shouts. She remembered thinking she wouldn't survive. She barely had. "I did what anyone would have done," she said quietly. "No, ma'am," the captain said. "No one else could have." Before she could respond, the drill instructor's voice thundered across the parade deck and the ceremony shifted into its final stage. The new Marines stood proudly, boots rooted to the ground. Maria immediately turned back, eyes searching. And then, there he was. Gabriel. Standing tall, strong, determined. Her heart swelled. The captain followed her gaze. "Your son?" he asked. "Yes," she said softly. "My only one. He'll want to know." "No," she said firmly. "He doesn't. He joined for his own path, not mine. He doesn't need my shadows. He deserves his own light." The captain studied her. He had seen war-hardened Marines break down under a single memory. Yet here she stood, calm, composed, carrying more weight than he could imagine. He straightened. "Ma'am, may I stand with you?" Maria hesitated. But there was sincerity in his eyes, respect, not curiosity. Gratitude, not awe. She nodded once. As the final commands echoed across the field, the new Marines were dismissed. The formation broke. Families surged forward. Laughter erupted. Gabriel jogged toward her, sweat on his brow, joy in his expression. "Mom," he shouted. Did you see the whole thing?" She opened her arms. Every second. He embraced her tightly, lifting her off the ground. For him, this day was perfect, simple, pure, full of pride. She wanted to keep it that way. But then Gabriel noticed the captain standing respectfully a few feet behind her. "Sir," Gabriel said, snapping to attention. "Is something wrong?" Maria stepped in quickly. He was just passing by. But the captain shook his head. "Private Lopez, congratulations. You've earned a title very few ever do. But I need you to know something." Maria shot him a warning look, but the captain continued anyway, carefully, respectfully. "You come from a long line of courage," he said. "More than you realize." Gabriel looked confused. "Sir." Maria placed a hand on her son's shoulder. "It's nothing, Gabe." But the captain wasn't done. He stepped closer, lowered his voice, and said something that froze Gabriel in place. "Son, your mother is the bravest Marine I've ever heard of." Gabriel blinked, slowly turned to her. "Mom." Maria's heart thudded painfully. "Gabe, please." But he wasn't angry. He wasn't shocked in a bad way. He looked at her with something she had never seen before. "Ah, why didn't you tell me?" he whispered. She cupped his face gently. "Because I wanted you to become a Marine, for your reasons. Not to live in my shadow." He swallowed hard. "I don't want to be in your shadow." She froze. "I want to be worthy of it." Her eyes stung. For the first time in years, she let herself smile, soft, real. The captain stepped back, giving them space. "Ma'am," he said quietly, "thank you. For everything." Gabriel wrapped an arm around her. "Come on, Mom. You're taking a picture with my platoon. They need to meet you." She laughed despite herself. "You don't want that." "Too late," Gabriel grinned. "They're already walking over." As a group of young Marines headed toward them, Maria shook her head, amused, and maybe a little proud. She came only to watch her son graduate. But somehow, without trying, she had become the story of the day.